What is up, my people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers Daily, a brand new series here on the channel where we take a look at some of the prevailing news of the day and my thoughts on a certain topic. Stick to just the one topic and get a little bit of a stream of consciousness going here on some of this, of course. The topic on my mind today is who is going to start the final and this question of meritocracy, and if you have made it all the way to the final, does the manager stick with you? That's the question. A lot of times this is the case, especially with Pep, especially with Mikel Arteta. Even Arsene Wenger back in the day was known to do this a little bit. But some managers will start their backup because they got there, or if the team is super desperate to win a cup, win the trophy, they will start David Raya or Mr. Gigi Donny Ruru in this one. But it's very interesting for me, this idea. And for me, I'm on the side of meritocracy. I think that Kepa should start. I think he will start for the Arsenal. And we've seen Pep do it as well. So it's very likely that James Trafford will start as well. So go ahead and smash up the like button for the Cup Chasers Daily. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would be an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege to welcome you to the community, of course, every single time. Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below, who would you start, David Raya, or would you start Kepa? And if you're Pep, do you start Trafford over Gigi Donny Ruru? That is the question we're looking at today. Now, of course, we know as the as the rounds went on and you get favorable draws, normally in the cups, especially in the Carabao Cup, you play the backup goalkeeper. And I think if your backup keeper gets you to the final, you have to play him. I'm not really bothered about who the number one is. And I think that because they played in the early rounds, because they got you to the final, I think you should stick him in. I think you should stick with them. I think they deserve it. I think that, this, again, isn't the most important of the cups. I think this debate would have been a bit different if the feel around the tournament, around the final, had not kind of, it's not, I don't know, there's not as much of a pressure as far as the overall picture that's on it right now. I think if the points gap in the league was closer, I think if it wasn't like 9 points, if it was more like 2 points or maybe 3 points, just one game, I think it's very possible that this win could mean a whole lot more this to the season. I think as it stands, it doesn't have as much weight on it as it might have as far as mentally, psychologically. I mean, if we were 2 points ahead or even 2 points behind, and going into this game, City was on a tear. City was winning games. City had just beaten Real Madrid, and they were through into the next round. And Pep was actually dressing in suits still. He wasn't looking like Ellen DeGeneres, and things were swimming at the Sharks were swimming, I should say. And they were right on our tail, and we were maybe struggling a little bit. I think this debate would be a bit different, honestly, because I think the importance of winning this would be way, way more vital than it is. I don't think necessarily, with the mood around this game, that it's going to be as huge, as big psychologically as it was going to be. Maybe a month ago, I would have said this game, whoever wins it is going to have such a major, massive psychological advantage moving forward. And yeah, I think that if Arsenal win it, it might still have an impact on City, just another body blow, another trophy gone, and their morale and mentality might slip, might not be there. And of course, winning a trophy is going to give you a boost. So, Pep, I think there's more pressure on Pep to, do what, is going to get them the win as opposed to maybe playing Trafford because he's gotten you here. He's played the whole time. So I think it's more likely we see Donnarumma than we see David Raya, honestly. I definitely think that starting Kepa builds trust within the squad, builds a trust with the players, but that's already there for Mikel Arteta. That's already there, of course. I think that it does show performances rewarded. That's one thing that it would show, and it means that if you play well, if you do well, if you get us to the final, then you deserve it. And I agree with that take. I definitely think that he should reward Kepa for getting us here. Of course, he's made a couple of decent saves in the Carabao Cup, and he's not a bad penalty shootout taker. He's not bad in the penalties. So I think that Kepa definitely should start, and I think it's a good thing when managers do this. I don't think it has anything to do. I don't think it says anything at all about David Raya or his abilities as a goalkeeper. I think he's coming in to probably being one of the best keepers in the league, in the world, really. At this point, I think he's been very, very good this season. But I think Kepa has also had his moments. I think Kepa's been good as well, and so it's an interesting debate. Who do you start? Who do you think? What's up, Lumen? Thanks for always being here. Appreciate you every single time, of course. Let me know who you think. Should Kepa start or should Raya start? For me, I'm thinking that the cup, if it was, if it was going to have a bigger psychological impact, I think that may have faded a little tiny bit just based on the situation. So personally, I think Kepa will start. I think he should start. And across the way, I honestly expect James Trafford to start as well. I do expect both of them to start. It's just kind of what we've seen in the past. And I think they should. I definitely think they should. Now, if we make the FA Cup final, and we're going for all kinds of different stuff, and we're in there at the end, I think maybe the FA Cup final, this conversation's a bit more acute, a bit tougher to, kind of convince yourself if you're Mikel Arteta, especially if you're desperate for the win. But I think the position we've put ourselves in this season is so amazing that, if we lose on Sunday, I'm not going to be devastated. Obviously, I want to win the cup, but I think we've put ourselves in such a good position that it's not going to hinder us going forward. It's not the result of this game will not impact whether we win the league or not. I don't think it'll impact whether we win the Champions League or not. And obviously, I doubt it has any bearing whatsoever on the FA Cup. But that being said, I still want to win, of course, and I think that Kepa is capable backup. It's not like we're playing, some random back there from the kid, the third stringer or whatever. So I definitely think that it's a good thing to start Kepa, and I think he will. I definitely think he will. And again, this would be a big moment for Kepa, but Kepa also, he's played in big games before. I'm pretty sure Kepa played in a Champions League final, so it's not like, this is, oh my God, we have to give it to him because he doesn't ever play in anything. He's never played in anything, and this is like his biggest moment. No, I think advantage us because I think Trafford's a little bit younger and Kepa is a more experienced goalkeeper. And so if we see that, I think it's going to be, I think that we would be just fine. Won't have an issue with it at all. In fact, I expect, I think he deserves it. If he gets you there, he deserves the final. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm pretty excited about Sunday, of course. Lumen says, I think Kepa, if you start Kepa and then Pep and Man City players will feel being disrespected and will affect their performance. So City will be disrespected, and we okay. Hey, fine by me. Fine by me. I think we've entered into the phase of the season, though, as far as Arsenal's concerned, as far as Arteta is concerned, where they're blocking out all the noise, and they're not really worried about how they are affecting Man City and Man City's mentality. It's working. It's working big time because it's pissing them off. And we're in their heads. We're absolutely in their heads. Arsenal fans, team itself, we're in people's heads, man. Without even trying. I'm sure in the locker room, Arteta is like, just block out all the noise. Don't listen to anything. Don't worry about any of the pundits, any of the crazies out there with the Arsenal hate. Because we're in Bernardo's head, we're in Rodri's head, we're definitely in Pep's head. So I think we're doing a good job of making them feel disrespected and affecting their mentality without even trying. And so, yeah, I would love that. I would love that if, they feel a little miffed and get a little shot to the gut or whatever when they see that Kepa, they're starting Kepa. I'm going to laugh so hard if Kepa starts and so does Donnarumma. If Pep is like, we got to win this one for the morale, for the mentality, and so he starts Donnarumma, and then they look across the way and Kepa's starting. Lumen, that'd be funny. Yeah, I can see that. I can see City players being like, "What?" That'd be funny. That'd be absolutely hysterical. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I definitely think Kepa should start. I definitely think he deserves it, and I think it'll be just fine. I think we'll be just fine with that, and so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Of course, make sure you're smashing up the like button for Mr. Arrizabalaga. Make sure you are locked in and subscribed each and every time. I appreciate it if you are new. It'd be an honor and a welcome. It'd be an honor and a pleasure to welcome you to the channel. Let's see it this way. If Arteta plays Kepa, and if he does any mistake, the whole fan base will be after him. But no, same case if Raya does mistake. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. I don't think that, like, if Kepa makes a mistake and we lose the final off that mistake, whatever. It's not a huge deal to me. As I said earlier, the pressure is kind of off in this one. The pressure that would have been there if Man City were breathing down our necks, but they are not. And so I'm definitely hoping, that Kepa has a good game. And like I said, he's got the experience in big matches, so I'm sure he won't be fazed by it whatsoever. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone being here. Go and smash up the likes, as I said. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. It'd be an honor and a pleasure to welcome you. Make sure you got the notification bell on. There will be a preview of this final in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a double stream with Anton on the Fire Them Cannons podcast, or whether we do separate ones. I know Anton will be doing one. So make sure you got the notification bell. Make sure you're locked in over there as well at Fire Them Cannons, because there's plenty more content coming down the line very, very soon. So thanks again for being here, and we'll see me next time.